Next thing I want to talk about is the quarterback battle, because it is Wednesday. We are headed towards Saturday, which will be the final showing of this quarterback competition. Russell Wilson says he will start, or he will play, He expects all the starters to play. It sounds as if he's the starter. That's what it sounded like if you asked him. The way I look at it is it's very simple. You score a touchdown in this one, I think you won the job. I know it's crazy to say that. I know that there's so much more that goes into it, but if you could lead a touchdown drive, a good one, a very good one, I have a hard time believing that the other person has done enough to surpass you in this quarterback competition. I think that's plain and simple where we stand right here, and it doesn't matter who it is. If Justin goes out there and he scores a touchdown and that offense has some click to it and you're going, ooh, okay, there it is. That's what they've been looking for. That's a massive advantage, Justin Fields. If Russell Wilson goes out there, first drive, scores a touchdown, boom. Okay, there it is. That's what we're looking for. Let me ask you this question, because Mark Caboli put it on Twitter, and I thought it was a very good question to ask. If George Pickens gets his pinky toe down on that catch against the Bills, are we even having a conversation right now about if Russ stinks or if the offense is terrible, or are things looking good because Russ at least did something and there was some mojo there, and who knows what would have happened after that?
Yeah, the other part of that was he stood in the pocket and delivered that pass, in a collapsing pocket and delivered that pass, which, listen, yes. I understand it. Russell Wilson has historically been a off-schedule type of quarterback. He can scramble. He's dealing with a calf injury. He can't do that right now. So maybe that's not in his bag of tricks. But on Saturday, he did make that pass. It was a beautiful moon ball to George Pickens, and it looked really good. If he makes that catch, if George Pickens is in, I think there is less discussion, but I still think it's a discussion because this is something we were talking about before last week's game. And yeah, he had a rough game. Yeah, he got sacked a bunch. Yeah, the offense did not really get anything going. 2 first downs and 5 drives is not good. But I do think that we'd still be having the discussion because it's been publicized and emphasized by everybody, including national media, every single day for the past 3 weeks. So I think that even if George Pickens makes that catch, or honestly, even if Mike Tomlin throws out the challenge flag and maybe he gets a favorable call because it's preseason, if that's ruled a catch, I think that it gets a little bit quieter, but I do still think that we're talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I do think it's quiet. I think it's much quieter. I don't think that there's the screaming heads of this team sucks, Russ is terrible. Because if it was the other way, like, did you notice that Justin and the offense wasn't that great, but we weren't talking about how it's over and this is done and Justin's the worst quarterback of all time? Let's talk about game time. I could still taste the popcorn and the soda and smell the beer of my first Pittsburgh Steelers game. And yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars might have won that day, but I will never forget how loud Heinz Field was and how rocking that stadium was on the North Shore. Game Time has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes things like getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I have an upcoming concert in Cleveland the day after the Pittsburgh Steelers play against the Browns, and instead of sitting there clicking on every single section, I'm just going to use Game Time Picks. Let's talk about why it's so great. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. On top of that, you get all-in pricing, which means that you get the total cost up front with no surprise fees at checkout. On top of that, you get seat views because nobody wants to buy some nosebleed seats for cheap and take a guess on whether you're staring at a pole or you just got the greatest deal in the entire venue. Plus, the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage means that your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ALLSTEELERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ALLSTEELERS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, low prices, guaranteed. Russ struggles, and Russ stinks, man. It's over. There's nothing there. Move on. Justin Fields. You want to know why? Because Russell Wilson doesn't have the oomph. Russell Wilson doesn't have the escape a crazy sack and make a throw to Des Fitzpatrick that gets everybody on their feet. And Russ has a lot of other things, a lot of very good things. And you just mentioned a couple of them. But Justin brings that magic from time to time that leaves you with the, okay, there's something here. We just got to wait for it. It's okay. I agree with you. I think it'd be quieter. I don't think it'd be quiet, but it'd be quieter where we stand here right now. I do want to address this comment as we go backwards a little bit. They said that about Russell Wilson because Tannenbaum wanted the Steelers to go get Ryan Tannehill to replace him. I did watch that clip. You are right on that one, Thomas. I don't believe Ryan Tannehill is, and maybe you feel differently, but I don't believe Ryan Tannehill is the backup that the Pittsburgh Steelers shouldn't be looking for. I mean, I'm not saying Russell Wilson is. I think Justin Fields is. I think Justin Fields is the best backup you could have in the NFL. I mean, that's a crazy good backup quarterback right there. Maybe outside of this guy named Mason Rudolph. But besides that, he's a pretty good backup quarterback. But Ryan Tannehill, I just don't think has what the Steelers need right now. And yeah, he'd probably be good enough, but I just don't think that he'd bring you even to the level of Russ. And I think that's what the Steelers need is, they need a Russ as a backup or a starter. I think Russ is a very good security blanket that would be hard to replace even with a Ryan Tannehill.
Which team's training camp is Ryan Tannehill practicing in right now?
Yeah, the nobody's.
Exactly, his couch. So I think that tells you all you need to know right now about Ryan Tannehill. I understand. Yeah. There's the connection, right? There's the easy connection, but let's get a little bit more creative than, he worked with Arthur Smith before and he's available. Oh, maybe this will work. No, yeah. Ryan Tannehill is a free agent because he is a free agent and because right now he is not a top 64 quarterback in the NFL. So nobody's signed him. There's a reason for that. I'm not trading away Russ to get Tannehill at all.
Yeah, I agree. I like Ryan Tannehill. I think Ryan Tannehill as a third would have been a great option. As a two, like you have a good one too. I just don't think it's worth messing up. I don't know if you have a good one. You have to figure it out. But I think right now you have two good twos, and you could make something work. I believe if you could figure out the offensive line. But week 3, all I'm looking for is a touchdown, man. Somebody scores a touchdown, I'd feel pretty good about the situation. And to be honest, like that goes to the offensive line. The offensive line's got to hold up so that they could score a touchdown. But I'm looking for that too. I'm more concerned about the offensive line than the quarterback battle. I want the offensive line to at least give somebody a shot. If not, you better be Adam Sandler and the Gridiron Gang, and you better make something happen because, quite frankly, your offensive line isn't doing you any favors. They're hurting you, if anything. You gotta go win this.